Hello everyone on YouTube, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always. I will now be watching yet another King of Fighters 15 trailer, and this time it's Joe Higashi, a character that is pretty cool. Last time I watched a trailer for this game, I think it was the very first footage they showed, and I can't say I was very impressed. I mean, it's SNK, it's King of Fighters. They aren't the biggest IP out there. I think their glory days were the 90s, correct me if I'm wrong. But of course I love fighting games. I want this to do well. Geese Howard is one of my all-time favorite fighting game characters. But I gotta be honest, and the very first trailer I watched, I thought the graphics were very, very underwhelming, especially considering their legacy, 2D animations that are so beautiful. And now they have embraced 3D because it's much more inexpensive. It's very cheap compared to hand-drawn animation, but their 3D is so lackluster, in my opinion. But so let's watch Joe Higashi. I can't get over the fact that after the logo there at the start, or the rating, SRRB, we hear actually one of the programmers on the game, Jizz. They recorded that for some reason, and they give us a shot of Joe's crotch.
Joe Higashi.
Nice. So you've probably noticed, like in Bandai Namco's character trailers for Tekken, what they do is that they actually manage and edit the camera to create particular, dramatic shots. Like, oh, this sequence, let's move it. It's not with the in-game camera. They put it in dramatic angles to create a cool trailer. And this trailer, in terms of production values, is just bare minimum. There aren't even transitions between the shots. It's just hard cuts, like, and there's no dramatic cameras at all. It looks like a fan has made a combo video. So it's not a very cool presentation of the character, in my opinion. And it's the same stage as last time. It's the beach stage. The graphics, in my opinion, and I'm gonna be honest here, it's like PlayStation 5 was released in November. PlayStation 5. Right. Is this even PlayStation 4? I feel like this is like PlayStation 3 graphics. I don't know, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or I think this is the problem. It's like SNK, absolutely, they're not going to have the biggest budget, but this is just, when you look at the competition that's out there, you have Tekken, which is not the most beautiful game, but with Unreal Engine, it looks quite all right, even considering it's from 2015 now. It's pretty old. But when you look at like NetherRealms, or a more direct competitor to this would be Arc Systems, with the new Guilty Gear, or Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Guilty Gear XR is what it's called. And they basically perfected this type of 3D. When you do 3D, but you want to really get it to look like 2D animated, and it's like, they're geniuses. and what they do with how they handle the camera to make it as dramatic as possible. And this just not only pales in comparison, but it just looks so unbelievably. I don't know what's a great word here. Absolute lackluster. It just looks very, very cheap. Like there was no budget whatsoever. And it just, I don't know. I was hoping, before we saw footage from King of Fighters 15, I was hoping they were going to go back to 2D. Because when I saw King of Fighters, 14 or 13, as soon as they went into 3D, I felt the games were quite ugly. The models themselves, I thought Gee's 3D model looked horrible. Horrible. And there's no textures, there's almost no shading, there's no proper lighting. And I know their tagline now is shatter all expectations.
Shatter all expectations.
I mean, shattering expectations would have been releasing a trailer that's very polished, has high production values, and you've reverted back to 2D, and it's beautifully animated. High resolution 2D. That would have shattered my expectations. But this is lower than my expectations. It's like, I knew they were going to use 3D, but this looks worse than I thought it would. It's like, again, like PlayStation 5 has been released. PlayStation 5. Does anyone out there find that this would have looked great on PS4? This would have been a great looking PS4 title. So yeah, it's like I want. Don't get me wrong. I want this game to do well. I'm a King of Fighters fan, but Jesus Christ, is it looking like it's going to be dead on arrival? Hopefully not, but after everything Arc System has done and NetherRealm Studios, how are you going to compete? There's going to be SNK hardcores. They will buy this game because of the gameplay. Because the gameplay is going to be great, obviously. But in terms of like presentation, it's just, my God, it's so far behind. Look at his model. And there's no texture. No skin shading. I mean, look at his face. And the hair. This is PlayStation 5 era now.
Joe, you got you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I know I sound like super negative, but I can't stress enough how underwhelming this is presented. But oh well, I'm hoping for the best. I hope this is very early footage. It's going to look way better. And a really good Geese Howard trailer could still get me really interested. But I don't know. It's like I said earlier today in that even with Tekken 7, if Tekken 8 is like Tekken 7, you know, with really bad load times, very poor amount of offline content, bad netcode, even with the improved netcode, it's nowhere near NetherRealm, you know, with MK11. And MK11 load times, you know, much better. MK11 has a fleshed out practice mode with character guides, and frame data was there from the start. They have much more offline content. Characters have, graphics are leaps beyond Tekken. Character interactions, you know, intros, win poses. It's like if Tekken 8 is like Tekken 7, this very ancient product in terms of like load times, netcode, practice mode, story mode, etc., etc. It's like, I don't think we're going to get away with it anymore. I feel like NetherRealm are setting a new standard. Arc Systems are setting a new standard in terms of like presentation. So Bandai Namco have to also figure their shit out, or get their shit together. But yeah, I just don't see this flying very high. The presentation just isn't there. But maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope this is very early footage. I hope this is very early.